Hi, Aries. Hello, hello. I forgot one thing. Hold on. Okay. Pause because I want you to see that. For those of you watching, this is a lot of what we call major arcanas. If you know a little bit about tarot, and I don't mention that verbiage all the time, which means road signs in the dark. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and these ones are in order. We also have an Aquarius full moon in the sign of Leo. So they're oppositions. Aries, the nodes have switched. We have 2 Virgo. So the Mercury in Virgo is rather strong. Mars in Virgo. I'm sorry. Mercury in Virgo. Mercury is switching and has switched. Is switching tomorrow. Or it'll already be switched by the time this comes out. The day after I'm recording. I'm recording on the 27th. So I haven't been really letting these settle too much, but I let yours settle because it was really hot the other day. And I was really hyped up and excited, but I realized that is just pent up energy in Leo season, and you can't always work with it, right? It only came to a certain amount. Why am I saying this? I always do that. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because if I didn't give you enough time before, for those of you here, I'm giving you this time now because, sorry, hold on. Well, quite frankly, you're demanding it. You need it. All of these arcanas are out, and another one. And I just briefly want to touch on this, is just that there's a lot of things that may have felt like instincts at one point in your life that are now beginning to settle in and set in to who you are more than ever. And for some of you, you've realized that there's certain things that just need a little bit more direction, maturing. If it hasn't already been brought to your attention, this is a big indication that there are in some ways you may not be celebrating or acknowledging the wins, the positive things that are happening to you, and you're getting too lost in what you don't have. That could be a very Aries Libra cusp, axis, sorry. But that could be any sign depending on what you're going through. So let's just pin it down to as a general reading, without going too much into this is what an Aries is. And this is really important. The reason why I'm saying it like this is because as we move into Aries and Libra, independent thinking is so important, right? Your whole goal for your attitude, or the perspective you may take on, or you may be around a Taurus a lot, and you may realize that the way Tauruses have one thing, they don't really expect a lot from people. They do, but they don't. And when they finally realize that, that's why a lot just comes to them. They're not lazy. Because if you haven't noticed, a lot of people just run around and they don't even know what they're doing. And yeah, maybe they're not lazy, but they could probably just chill and be fine, but instead they're just running around, barking at people or doing whatever the fuck they're doing. And it's being very quickly brought to your attention. There are some things that, or some steps you need to acknowledge, right? Especially if you're starting new with something, you're starting fresh with something, or if you're just starting to step into a role that is more, that is asking more of you. Maybe it's exceeding your expectations even. Maybe it's better than you expected, and maybe that's something you want to start to say and put into and put forth into your life. But this is also making you question certain things about how much comes from this instinctual nature to hunt. You know, it's very Leo season. I was talking about that a little bit today. It's like to hunt down, to force will upon. Again, this Mars coming out strong too. That's what the Emperor is as well. It's not just Aries. But this Mars energy is also very strong. So as we enter Virgo, Virgo can make it very clear to you. So I love when certain energies come together. And I noticed the past few years that Virgo comes together with Aries and Aquarius in a certain way that is extremely like helpful and useful. And you guys really can, like, whether or not you get along, you could really help each other grow. And I think that this Virgo coming through right now is really just you being clear of thought of what needs to be put into place now. What is no longer just action or thought? What thoughts need to become verbalized for certain people around you, for yourself, excuse me, and what things need to be verbalized that have already been acted upon, or that what you want to act upon. And it could almost feel like it's coming out of nowhere, but I think if you really think about it, you know it's not. You know that certain things have needed to be addressed for a while. Someone might even bring it to your attention. But what needs to be addressed is some clearing up. You know, these road signs in the dark are, you know, the nodes shifting. It was maybe unexpectedly. Oh my God. I was not expecting this. Hold on. Maybe the road signs in the dark were unexpectedly brought to your attention because the node shifting is a lot bigger than you realize. That the node shifting is you entering into a different phase of your life that you can no longer hide from. Leo season is exposing you, and it won't feel like this next month, but it won't just go away either. It's not something that just comes to your attention and like you kind of sort of shift. It's like, no, this is like boosting you forward. So some things, some people, some things you never thought would budge or you would even want to change, all of a sudden you may be surprised that even as an Aries, you might be surprised, like, oh shit, like this has got to go. This way of thinking has got to go. This does nothing for my life. It doesn't bring any value. Not that everything you fucking do needs to do that either. Like, can I be clear about that? But when we're talking specifically about these things that are not good for us in our life, that's why I bring those things up. So it's not just about here's where you can improve. Here's what the fuck you need to do. Like, listen, you do it too, but you need to understand that you can also and need to receive some advice from people that have maybe been in your position. Any of these people could be a mentor. Maybe the Empress, the Emperor are mentors. Maybe they're two people you look up to. Maybe it's you tying the knot with someone. Also, it's like for some of you, this is about quickly, maybe even in getting engaged, and things just all of a sudden, like, you just start thinking differently, and all of a sudden, like, whatever you thought was going to happen didn't, and you're like, it seems like you're okay with it. What's becoming apparent is that the shifts that you're making are allowing you to step forward and into a world where you can let go even just a little bit more of what maybe the ego even behind the cups that you filled, the ego behind the relationships. Like maybe there's some sort of looking at that aspect in your life and how it's maybe even held you back from doing something that different, or something that's come to mind every once in a while, and all of a sudden maybe it's here again. This is about the relationships in all different areas in your life with this Venus retrograde. And your Aries is, so if you're an Aries ascending, your Leo is in the 5th house, as is mine, because I have double placements of certain signs. And what's also lighting up is like how you feel about yourself and your growth and how you want to manage your life and your stress even. This could be about what you're wanting for your future, how you're creating. Okay. It's really important it's like stressing, funny enough, that your stress is coming from what you can't control, and that is something to be tended to. Whatever you need to do to allow that stress and to alleviate that is really important. Why? Well, because it's going to keep coming back. It's not going away. It's learning to maybe find a meditative space where every few minutes you can just let go a little bit, or even a few moments where you know it's okay. Oh my God, I'm sorry. We're pausing for a moment. I was in a thought. Oh my God, we're here though. I'm just waiting. Maybe this is the end. Yeah, so you're just circling around to a point in your life, interestingly enough, where it's a very powerful change. You're especially stepping through, especially Aries ascendings too. This change is powerful, especially for your internal world. Your external world will see a change as well, especially in the vulnerability that you have with how you go through your life. You may realize that also that something so good and fruitful and the enjoyment that you get from it is different than what you had thought would bring you enjoyment. You're rapidly seeing something different in yourself, and does it stick? Well, that's up to you, right? You're just maybe being given insight after insight after insight because you're walking through a time in your life that may not feel like it right now because you're so headstrong and forward and active. But you might find yourself slowing down a bit towards the end of the month into Virgo season, where you can actually like maybe reflect a little as you continue to move through this change. It's not that you were it wasn't unexpected, but it feels like it. Anytime you know something's coming and you can just feel it in your bones, is that's where you're at right now, and that's like you feeling the stars shift. If you know, for some of you that could be a good correlation. And it's like super powerful, but at the same time you like being attached because you like your comforts, you like your creature comforts like anybody else does. Even if you are sometimes this alien-esque type person. And the Ace of Wands is saying, like, this is just your time to create something out of pure desire. And you can get there the more that you're honest with yourself and the more that you proceed through this cycle in a way that surprises even you. And that's what I mean by better than you can expect. Because I think that there is something about, and I see that, I'm not just thinking, but I see that your ego does have something to do with it. That's the questioning that comes into play, because ego is attachment, regardless if it's like you feel like you're being better than someone or not, it's still attachment, right? And I think that's what gets misconceived misconceived in especially our lives right now. But I think that's enough, because I think this is the most focused, and I think the most important thing is that you be very smart with your money right now. You not move too fast unless it feels down to your bones right. If you just know it. And trust those instincts, because they're going to reveal certain things that were actually just holding you back and you thought was helping you. So a big shift, and that's something that's going to play out for the next year and a half to come while the node is shifting through your sign. So there's going to be some kind of change in the way that you are putting out energy in your life. So that is being called into question this month during Leo season, because it's fire, baby. Gotta know how to keep it going. And it's okay to chill. And we'll see you next month.